Greetings, Joy Souls. Welcome to the Live Joy Lifestyle Podcast. I am amsa-t.neter, your host, and it is my mission to share joy from my heart to yours whenever and wherever you are. Today, I want to speak on head and heart. Think and feel. Our society puts a lot of emphasis on being smart. I grew up in a time where higher education was believed to be the key to success. We are guided to think, be logical, analyze and figure things out. This is great for me, actually, as in my design, it is natural for me to be analytical and I learn with structure. However, I have noticed that when I move from my mind, I don't always make moves on behalf of my authentic self. So I kind of can think myself into a hole or a corner, and nobody puts amsa in the corner. I love Dirty Dancing, by the way. Has anyone ever panicked over an unanswered text? This is the perfect example of getting into your head. You don't know why they didn't text you back, right? You're just over here like, did I say something wrong? Are they mad at me? What did I do? And like dreading and getting stuck in your head and making yourself sick over this. But there are so many reasons why a person might not respond. Personally, I sometimes don't get back to a text for weeks. I honestly forget, or I just miss the text altogether. My settings, the sound, whatever I'm doing at the time, who knows? But the point is, if that happens to me and it has nothing to do with the other person, then it could also be true that it's happening in reverse, that it's not personal. It's nothing that I did or said, but they have their own thing going on. And so if you are acting and speaking in alignment with your truth, then there's really nothing to be worried about anyway. But I always used to worry about how it would be received. And I would be afraid of not fitting in. I was always the minority in the room, and that was enough for me. I just wanted to be liked, and I didn't trust myself or my voice. I lacked confidence and worthiness, honestly. I was my biggest critic. I could pick myself apart in my own mind, and this carried into my dancing. Believe it or not, I didn't trust myself. I didn't want to freestyle. I didn't think I would be good enough. I hated to dance without choreography. And that's the thing, is I'm really good at choreography. And I did know that others thought that about me as well. And I didn't want to mess it up by doing something stupid or looking ridiculous in my freestyle because I didn't know what to do. And I did a lot of work around this, but that's a story for another time. But now I have my own podcast where I am literally using my own voice and my own words to share with others. And this is because I can now trust my voice. I believe that what I have to say has value. It's about knowing myself and accepting myself and loving myself so that I can be me without thinking about what anybody else might think about it. The biggest thing when it comes to what others are thinking for me is that we don't freaking know. We cannot actually know what other people really think. It's impossible. Now, whatever it is that we believe they are thinking, it came from our own minds and we are projecting it outward. And then when you project it, it gets mirrored back to you through the people you interact with, which then makes it even more believable to you. Making decisions is yet another way that we get stuck in our minds. Using the mind is not the only way to make decisions. I'm a huge fan of listening to my heart. let your heart move you, or feeling the answers in my body, go with the gut and all that. Not all decisions need to be made or acted upon from pure logic. One question I often ask my clients is, what do you actually want though? Because their original response is usually something like, well, if I do this, then that, and such, and so, and I don't have a choice because I have to do this, or this has to happen, etc., etc. You hear all of that limiting language, all of that stuff about other people. Like, I didn't ask you about all of them and all of that and all of these rules. I want to know what you want. I want to know what you believe. What's your truth? And one way I can tell that I've got a real answer is when you detach all the qualifiers. So you take away the if-thens, the so-and-sos, the have-tos. Does the answer remain the same? If so, then yes, it's a true response. But if the answer changes when you get to release all of those qualifiers, then you were manipulating your decision based on all of these other things. And that doesn't mean you're going to make this choice solely from where you are in your heart, because sometimes it is absolutely necessary to take other things into consideration, but it is a good place to start from your authentic self, from your personal truth, and start there. And then you start to go outward if that's necessary. And when I say I know the answer, I'm still not even talking about my head. It's a more like I feel. This is like the feeling that you get when you're just so sure of something, even though you have no proof. You have no reason to believe it, but you just know. It's completely understandable, though, on the other side, if you don't actually know what you feel or what you want. So often we are running on autopilot, following a program that gives us next steps without needing us to tap in with ourselves. But if you stop and ask yourself, and you happen to realize that you don't know, this is simply a sign that you get to do some discovery, some self-discovery time, to take that time to practice connecting with yourself. Get out of your mind and into your heart, into your body. Here is where we embody and live our truth. One way I like to tap in with myself is to take the pause, the breath, be still, and really notice my body. The practice is in doing this regularly, just like anything else. And you get to question yourself and see how you feel or what you feel before you give an answer. And the questions can be so simple in this practice, right? Like, do I want black bean tacos for dinner tonight? What's my initial response? Is it, with a rumble in my tummy? Is it, fine. Beans is fine. It's totally fine, but it's with an eye roll. Or is it complete disgust and like a twisting in my lower abdomen? These kinds of responses really give us the feedback we're looking for, but we've got to be paying attention. And that is the practice. When you practice raising your awareness of what a yes feels like, what a no feels like to you in your body, it's easier to recognize it in different kinds of situations. And then you can follow the guidance. And when you're ready to do that self-discovery work, the questions can still be simple, but they lead to depth. Like, does my work make me happy? What do I want from life? What does that stir up inside of you? Where do you feel the stirring? Is it a type of feeling like, yes, I really enjoy it? Is it a, it is what it is, this is life kind of feeling? Or does it feel like resistance, nausea, like the thought of really loving what you're doing right now gives you like a really resistant type of feeling in your body? I can sometimes get such a huge repulsion to something that I thought I wanted to do. I may not understand that with my mind, but my body knows. And usually I'll make sense of it later. But, maybe I don't. Sometimes it can look like later on down the line after I've made the choice, wow, that's why I felt weird about this. I'm really glad I didn't do it. Or it can be the other where it's like, dang it, why did I do that? I knew it wasn't a good idea because I felt it and I didn't listen. Or I felt it and I did, even though I didn't understand why I felt it. Right? So where do you fall in that? Is this something that you experience? Are you listening to yourself or not? And what are the consequences? One last way I want to talk about getting into your head is focusing on what's going wrong. What goals and expectations have not been met? What are people thinking about me? Are they thinking bad about me? Coming from this place can cause more of the problem, can amplify it, or definitely actually create more anxiety and stress than is necessary because you don't have the answers you want or you're not experiencing the reality you want. But when you shift your focus to the outcome that you desire or a solution and the actions you're going to take to get there, that is the energy that you start to attract or generate. And you can start to create what you want to feel. So whenever you find yourself getting into your mind in these ways, what people think about me, and not knowing what to do, trying to figure it out, even when it's like trying to make a really big decision in your life or a small one about dinner, take a moment to drop down into your body, get into your heart, feel your gut, and see what truth is there. I always want to remind you that the only person who knows what's true and right for you is you. No one knows better than you. But just in case you were wondering, I think you're amazing. I think you are so worthy of speaking and living your truth. I feel that you deserve a life of embodying joy. Just do you and let things align. And if you would like support in getting to know yourself better, healthier mindsets, developing your intuition so that you can trust your body and your heart, that's what I'm here for. All of my socials are in the show notes, as well as a link to book a free innerJOY activation strategy session. I am here for you. I love you. So please let your breath fuel you. Let your heart move you, and let your intuition guide you. Peace, love, and live joy.